Alright, today we're going to install this TRD big brake kit for the Scion XB. Let's do this. There's the part number, TRD big brake kit XB. So I already opened this to check the contents inside. And these are the StopTech brake lines. So we're going to upgrade the brake lines. These are the fronts and this is the rears. This brake kit was recalled because of the leaky brake lines. So we're going to resolve that by replacing them with these new steel braided brake lines. So here's my current brake setup. I upgraded to these power stop calipers. I believe they're just the stock ones painted red, but also these are Bayer rotors. And then I do have the StopTech braided lines, but I'm going to replace these ones with newer ones. And then of course I got the TRD shocks and springs. All right, let's check out these calipers. Look at this. Oh my gosh. Look at this goodness. Beautiful. So let's prep these by removing these protectors. So the brake pads are already installed. These are Centric brake pads or StopTech brake pads already installed. This caliper is basically ST41 caliper. So StopTech caliper, but it has an integrated mount specifically for the XB. This can also fit on a TC as well. So yeah, this is a 4-piston caliper. And here is the left side caliper. Has provided some caliper bolts. Yeah, beautiful calipers. So first step is to remove the brake line from the stock location right here. This is a 10 millimeter at the top. And then you're going to use some needle nose pliers to pull this bracket off. And then we're going to remove this bolt and this bolt to free the brake line. So this bolt is a 14 and this one is a 14 as well. So next you're gonna maneuver the brake line loose from here, taking care not to get some brake fluid on anything. All right, next we need to remove the caliper. There are two 17 millimeter bolts up and at the bottom. So let's do that. All right, once you remove the top bolt and the bottom bolt, you'll be able to remove this caliper and just pull it off. That in turn will release the rotor, which you can also pull off. So we're not going to use these stock caliper bolts because they provide you with some new ones that you're going to use, especially for this caliper. So here are the StopTech stainless steel brake lines. Comes with the brake lines and some hardware All right, so the next thing we need to do is we actually need to cut this bottom half off of the dust shield because this is going to hit the new rotor. So here's the left front rotor, beautiful. Right here is the shield hitting the rotor, so we need to cut that piece off. So here in the instructions, this is how the dust shield should be cut. I got this set of tin snips that I'm going to use to cut the dust shield. So we're going to cut here, I think it's in the center here, into this piece right here. Then we got to bend this top part back a little bit so that the rotor can have some clearance. Okay, now it's time to install the rotor. Just make sure you're putting the right rotor. They should be labeled left. If they're not labeled, if you look right here, they should be going in this direction. The slotted holes going that way. So you want to install 2 lug nuts in place to hold the rotor in place as you install the caliper. But keep one kind of loose so you can fit in the caliper. So next step is to install the caliper. Here's the caliper. Make sure you're installing the correct side. It's labeled here, left side, L. And you want to make sure that the bleed screw is pointing up. So in order to install the caliper, we need to remove the brake pads that are already installed on the caliper. And remove it, a size 5 Allen key. You're gonna take these bolts out. The washers are in here. Don't lose those. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull this bridge out. You can get some leverage, just stick it in here and then kind of push it up. And take the brake pad out. Leave this side in. I think it'll be easy if we just take out this one, because I think that's what's blocking. All right, so you can get your 2 provided bolts. Put the caliper on. Make sure you're threading it correctly. Don't want to strip it. Okay, once you get your caliper bolted in, you're gonna put the brake pad back in. You should be able to just slide it in. So I'm just gonna use a rubber mallet, just kind of tap it in there. Make sure it's all snug in there. Okay, we're gonna put the bridge back on. This arrow's pointing down, so I will put it down. And make sure you put your washers back in, and then your bolts. Yeah, this is gonna make it so much easier to change the pads out. You just pull them out. Then screw these in. They just need to be hand tight. And then just, make sure it's snug. Don't want to over tighten these. And there you go, nice and solid. So I'm actually gonna spin this bridge around so the arrow is pointing up, because it looks weird that this labels here, it says left, and then you're reading it upside down. Even though I'm gonna take it off, but in the instructions, it shows that the caliper bridge is like this orientation, so I'm gonna do it this way. And then remove this sticker. All right, next thing we need to do is we need to install the brake line onto this port right here. So we're gonna remove this plug that the caliper came with. So you can take the crush washer, think there's like a flat side and a kind of rounded edge. Yeah. So I'll try to put the flat side towards this. Make sure it threads correctly because you don't want to strip. Just take your time. There you go. Okay, next you want to bolt down these. Let's see. Oh, it goes behind. This is how you're gonna mount it. This brake line goes underneath this, and then this notch goes here, and then it kind of butts into this like that, and then this goes on top. Yeah, it's a weird configuration. So it looks like that. And you want to make sure that there's enough slack that it's not touching anything. So there. Put the end of the brake line here, screw in the top, and then put this thing on. And we can use a mallet to hammer it in. Okay, now we're gonna tighten this bolt, the back of the caliper. It's a 12 millimeter. So we're going to tighten these two bolts to 21 foot-pounds. We're going to torque down these caliper bolts to 79 foot-pounds. Let me just make sure. Yeah. All right, there it is, all installed, torqued down. Looks beautiful. There's the Stop Tech braided steel line. There's the caliper and the rotor. So now I just need to bleed the brakes and test her out.